Oh my god, you are there. Why, hello. What can I do for you? I'm kind of busy playing Pokemon at the moment. Go away. Like, shoo. What, you guys want something? Well, I can't really do any Let's Plays on this because I don't have the adapter for this to that. Still not leaving, are ya? Okay, if I don't do a Let's Play, and I can't do the Abridged series, or anything else I don't want to do, what do you guys want? Well, what type of... I know. How about a review? Yes, but we need a game to review. What type of game should I review? Let's see here. I got something around here somewhere. Animal Crossing. That sounds good. No? Okay. How about that? Wait. Too easy. New Super Mario? Yeah, I agree. It's a good game. What about Resident Evil or Tales of the Abyss? No, again. Still. Well, the only thing I have left is Ocarina of Time 3D, and, I mean, it's Ocarina of Time. It's a good game. Sort of. Okay, it looks like I'm reviewing this. Well then. I guess it's time for a review then. Before I do this review, though, there are 3 things worth mentioning. 4, 5, 4, 2, 1. I didn't really count. But it's a couple things worth mentioning. 1. I'm a die-hard Zelda fan. I have a freaking... Ocarina of Time, for God's sakes. Ocarina of Time is one of my favorite games. In fact, it has to be one of my top 3 favorite Zelda games they've ever made. Though, that's not really a lot if you think about it compared to other game series. They're actually losing that. Anyways, off topic. I even have a Master Sword over there, which I might have in my next video, and some posters which might go up on my wall soon. I'm a die-hard Zelda fan. 2. If I'm going to be actually rating this and reviewing this and putting my name out there on the review, there's a few things we have, just something we had to get straight. I'm going to be reviewing this Ocarina of Time on the 3DS as a 3DS title alone, not as a remake, because that's what it is, right? It's a remake. It's a Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time 3D. Plain and simple remake. So, for this review, I'll be reviewing it based on what they've improved on the games, or what they didn't improve on the games, or made stupider. So, without further ado, I guess we should get started. In 3, 2, 1, go. Before I go any further, there is one thing I had to point out, or, well, it would be obvious. These videos are not actually my videos. I couldn't actually record anything, because what I use is a webcam and not an actual camera. However, I am going to be putting their YouTube's name below the videos that I have taken, and I'm also going to put a link to the description below, so please check them out. There's a few of them that actually do a really nice job, so hey, it's really cool. Anyways, without further ado, let's look at the actual game. Well, you know, as a remake. Ocarina of Time. I've had so much fun with you. Slashing bad guys, facing Ganon, cutting grass, finding rupees, smashing jars, walking into people's houses and them not questioning, why the heck are you here? Oh, the fun times you get to have. But alas, I have to review you, and I don't know exactly how I feel about you yet. I suppose by the end of this review I actually will. to do this review properly, I'm going to have to actually break it down and step by step and say the good and the bad about the game. To start off with, let's talk about the graphics. The graphics are greatly improved, amazing, superb over the old one. I mean, the old one, everything was cubed and square and edged off, and Link's hair looked sharper than his actual sword did. I mean, talk about a weapon. Screw the Master Sword, just headbutt Ganon in the face and we'll actually be done with that. The Justice Attack. Spin attack, meet your doom. Or maker, I guess I should say. It's really nice how they fleshed out the backgrounds, the foregrounds, everything. Everything now looks perfect and beautiful, and it's so nice to see that, especially within a remake, because a bunch of the time when it comes to doing an HD remake, it's not, and they actually label it as HD remake, all they did is they kept it cubed and square and edged off. They just made the graphics look better, but they actually took the time to go through the game data, change things, add smoothness to it, add roundness, add things to make it really nice, and that really shows, and that is greatly appreciated. So Nintendo, kudos on that one. Next up, let's talk about the 3D gimmick. Now, I know this is more of a system thing than the actual game, but it is called Ocarina of Time 3D, so I'm sorry, but I do have to judge your game based upon it, Nintendo. It's really cool, it really is, but the 3D gimmick on the 3DS gets old really fast, and a lot of the time people don't even play with it on. I don't play with it on, and everyone I talk to, they just turn off their 3D part and just play the game. So I guess not really worth mentioning, but it's nice, and it does look good for 3D. There are some times when you're playing it and you have to kind of fiddle with the DS to be able to try and get the right angle, and sometimes it doesn't quite work out, and you turn the 3D down, which sucks, because if you want to play on the 3D game, you want to have 3D all the way, or up until your eyes can take it. And it is fleshed out, but again, it gets old and it gets boring and it's repetitive. So I'm not going to mark that against the actual game itself because it's a hardware thing. Nintendo went for the 3D style, which is good, and it's a really cool gimmick, but all the same, it's just, I don't know, old and tiring. Like, 3D movies nowadays are cool, but it's like, well, okay, they're 3D, but I'd rather just go see the old one and save myself an extra couple of dollars, if you know what I mean. Next up is the second screen. The second screen is a really cool idea, being able to switch your items just by using the touchpad and having the map there and being able to check out your map or check out your songs or what have you. Anything that was on the start menu is now on your second screen, so you don't have to take away from the action that much. And it's a really cool idea considering that they only really had 2 extra buttons this time around when doing it, where last time they had 3. When minusing an item spot when going into the next system isn't exactly something you want to do. And being able to put the Ocarina and have that as its own separate button was also a really good idea. And adding a button was also a really good idea. Like having your bottles or having your boots there, and then you can still have those 3 spots for whatever you need. Excellent job on that, Nintendo. I really applaud you for it, though I only use the 2 anyways, but that's just a nostalgia thing for me, because I'm always used to having one of those buttons for the Ocarina. There are some downsides to it, though. A lot of the times, well, all the time, when you go into the actual items to switch out one of your items for, like, switching out your bombs for your hookshot or something, it pauses the game. Now, if you have a second screen, there really isn't a reason to pause the game. I mean, it just takes away from the action. This is an action game, and you could have it go constantly throughout the battle and just switch it on the fly, but it's not like that. I'm pausing the game and going through my items menu and selecting it. Well, in a way that seems like a good idea, so that way you don't have to take away from the action. You can just pause and go back, but it kind of takes me out of the immersion of the game. And it is an improvement over the Ocarina of Time original, where it took a while for the pause screen to come up, where this one is just instant. I know I'm just nitpicking, but that just could have been fleshed out a little bit more. I mean, it's a 25th anniversary game after all. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about the second screen. A really good idea. I love what they did with it, but something like that where they could have just made it so it doesn't pause, which they had to add encoding to make it so it paused, so I don't know why they did it. But they did speed it up, so I'll add that to a point in their favor. Next up, the stuff they added. Now I gotta say, they actually added a bunch of things to this game, and I love it for it. But there are some things they added where I question it. Like, for example, the Sheikah Stone, or Sheik Stone, or... I am so gonna get ripped apart for saying mispronouncing it. Anyways, that stone that they added, where you can crawl into it, the boss rush in it is so cool. Being able to go against those old enemies is amazing. However, that's kind of where the good stuff stops. And this is where we get into the bad thing. Now, it is cool on how they added stuff into the water temple for people who are newer. Those light type things that try to show you exactly where to go. But at first I thought, hey, that's really cool. And then I started thinking about it. And that on top of what's inside the stone, the second part of it, which is a step-by-step guide of the game, literally a step-by-step guide that tells you, hey, go across this floor, now go in this door, and on the other side of this door, just use your shield to block the enemy, and shoot their deco nut back at them, and stuff like that. It's like, okay, I get it. It may seem like a good idea for people who are just coming to Ocarina of Time, but we had to figure it out, and we turned out fine. We didn't have internet back then. Well, at least it wasn't as popular or as big as it was now. It wasn't easy to search up anything on the internet as it is nowadays to get a step-by-step guide. It almost seems unnecessary because of how easy it is to check things up online. And even online and walkthroughs and stuff, when they give you a guide, they don't go into as much detail as this guide does. And I know some of you may be thinking, oh, that's a really good idea, but it's not. It's almost like they think we're idiots. At least that's how it makes me feel, that they think we're idiots or stupid for not being able to figure this stuff out. I mean, come on. Yes, it's a great idea to have the lights on the walls for people who are new, because a lot of people had trouble with the water temple and it was their biggest complaint. However, when it comes to the first temple, when you go inside the stone, it shows you, hey, climb up this ladder, now go through this door, which is the only door on that floor. Like, we wouldn't be able to figure that out. Thanks, Nintendo. I didn't know I was fucking 5. Or 4, or 3. They treat you like you don't have any common sense, and that's the problem with it. Yes, you want to help out your people, your customers, but you don't want to treat them like they're an idiot. And another thing they added, which really didn't need any help with, is Navi telling you when your battery is low. Or, hey, every half an hour or whatever, Navi going, hey, you need to stop playing this game for a little bit and rest your eyes. Okay, first of all, I'm playing this game. I'm going to obviously ignore this message even with you saying it. Heck, you even have these messages up when you start up the system used to. I don't know if they still have a 3DS. But I mean, come on. Enough's enough. We get it. We have to stop playing every now and again, otherwise it's going to affect our eyes. But we're still going to do it anyways. I'm still going to do it, and everyone I know is still going to do it. So don't put that in our face about it. And telling us when my battery is low, well, let's see. There's a red light on my DS going blink, 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 blink. Kind of figure that I need to plug it in. Thanks. Nintendo, I like some of your ideas and trying to help the newer people, but you're doing it too much to the point where it's insulting. I know as a Wind Waker you didn't have this problem, and kudos, you didn't include it. You stepped back and learned from your mistake, but when I'm judging you based on this game, it's a point in your negative, and a big point in your negative, because you're insulting your customers. You can't do that. I'm in hotel and restaurant management. I'm learning about how you treat customers, and this is not one of the ways. Anyways, that's just one of my complaints about it. The boss rush is a good side, but you also have that insult, and the step-by-step guide, where part of it is just really unnecessary. And when you go through it and you click on it, watch the video, it has a check mark on it saying you watched this video. Well, I get it, I watched the video, but do you really want me to go clicking on those? Do I get an achievement for clicking on all of them? If I do, that seems like a really stupid achievement. So, like, those storyline achievements you get by just playing the game, they seem really unnecessary. But that's just me ranting. Anyways, on to the next thing. And now, the bad things about it. Well, at least continuing the bad things about it. The fact that they added the stone and fleshed out the designs, it's almost like they made it from scratch, or at least they had access to the coding of the game and was able to do so much with it. Now, they did add a bunch of things for the bottom screen, like making it so the song's right there, but it made the game really, really easy. Sorry. But they didn't add a bunch of features that were just cool or exciting. I mean, for example, some things I would like to have seen in the game would be able to use your sword on the horseback. I mean, they had that in Twilight Princess, and that was awesome. But all you can use is still the bow. It seems so silly not to add something like that. I mean, even the creator of the Zelda games even went on saying one time that that's something he wanted to originally add, but they had limitations on the system. Well, 3DS doesn't have that limitations. You could have had that, or even if you couldn't done that, because it'd be awkward just as shit on a horse. I get. Okay, but something they could have changed is being able to use your sword and shield and other items underneath the water. I mean, the hook shot or the long shot is really awkward when you're using underwater. And turning and stuff like that when you're trying to aim at someone or locking on to someone is still kind of sluggish. They could have just fleshed that out a little bit, or being able to use sword in the water. It could have opened up so many opportunities. Even on the Master Quest version, they didn't do that, but I'm not getting onto the Master Quest, because the Master Quest in this one they did do really good on, but that's for a whole nother time. Other things they could have used was improving the sound or extending some of the music clips, like the Bore of Fire and stuff like that, just extending it a little bit, or giving it, or some of their just regular songs that they have, just push them a little bit, or something that would be really, really cool would be some remixes. I mean, games that do remixes too, and the remixes sound so good. And the Song of Storms has so many good remixes out there. They could have done it themselves. Some places the graphics still look untouched. Maybe they forgot about them. Maybe it was too far off. They figured we wouldn't notice, but I did. They had so much potential because it's the 25th anniversary and they had access to the code. They could have done so much, and they didn't. And that's what my problem with it is the potential and stuff they could have expected. I mean, I heard news about them like adding stuff to the game, like a new temple or just a secret temple or stuff like that, and they didn't do it. Now, I know they added the Master Quest, and that was probably like their extra temple thing. And I'll get on to that later on another review or on another episode of my channel. I might even do a Master Quest episode or a Master Quest series for my Let's Plays, which I know I don't upload enough, and yes, I'm getting to them. Yeah. But yeah, that's my opinion of the bad, is there's the potential that was there that was lost. And with everything I just said in mind, and remember, I'm basing it upon it being a remake, not the actual game. I love Ocarina of Time. It's one of my favorite games. But as a remake of what they've improved upon on the game, I can only give it a rating of 5 out of 10. Yes, they did improve the graphics stupendously, amazingly, and they did add the boss rush, which was amazing. However, they also treat you like you're an idiot by giving you a step-by-step guide, which seems really unnecessary. I know you don't need to go to it, but why have it there? Why keep flashing the new? It makes me want to click on it because that's what psychological does to you. It says you want to click on everything that says new, 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 even though it's stuff you've already seen before, and they show you the most basic of basic things. I'd be okay if it didn't show you basic of basic things, but they do that. It treats you like an idiot, and Nintendo, that's bad. Bad Nintendo. Bad. Almost had to put you into a corner. Bad. Ground you next time you do that. Now, and with the whole Navi thing, making Navi more annoying, are you kidding me? Did you not learn your lesson the first time? Seriously, Nintendo, go to your room. And the other thing they lost points on was the potential. The stuff they could have done. The horseback riding idea, and the underwater idea, the remix of the music are just some ideas I had. But everyone I talk to has dozens and dozens and thousands, probably, of ideas they could have done but they didn't, or even added a secret dungeon. And again, I know there's a master quest, and yes, I will be talking about the master quest later, or I'll just do it now. The master quest was a really cool idea to add into the game, and I know that took up some space on the game, but there's still that potential that was lost, and that's why I got 5 out of 10. Now, if they didn't treat you like an idiot, they would have probably gotten 7. But you lose all marks when you treat your customers like they're fools. And when you annoy them with, hey, listen, guess what? Your battery's low. Hey, listen, guess what? You need to take a break from this game. Or hey, guess what, Nintendo? Fuck you on that. I decide when I'm done playing the game, or I decide when I need to take a break, or I decide when I want to plug in my game, and plus I can see the light. And that's why I got 5 out of 10. The game itself is a great game, and the game itself deserves a 9 or a 10 out of 10. At the very, very least, an 8.5 out of 10. But as the remake and what they improved and didn't improve on, that's where I put it. Okay, that's it. Good morning, good afternoon, goodbye. I got Pokemon to play. I'll have my other videos up soon. In fact, I'll work on them right now.